Hey everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host Dave.
I'm John.
Wow, 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 wow. I love that.
And joining us this evening, our very good friend from the Cult 45 podcast who was too afraid we would make him yell at his screen too much.
Lies.
So he had to join us for this conversation, of course. The one and only Random Randy Savage. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing just fine. Hey, everybody.
Coming to us live from a part of the Marvel universe that they won't acknowledge.
Oh,
good
yeah.
Boring
Good reason.
Marvel
I
universe.
have no idea what to do with it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Randy, I got a question. Are we getting a new commercial tonight? Because
We're not.
No.
I feel like your spots opened me up to a world of podcasting that I just don't get to see, and I feel like I need more of it every week.
No, not.
Although they gotta stay like that tight, like the ones that go on for minutes.
No,
Even
no,
though
let him
it's
go.
real-
For you
No,
guys to
no.
get up and go pee. And
Exactly.
come back.
Well, I don't want to
Oh,
leave. These are amazing.
Is that what we're supposed to do during those?
I don't know.
They make
It covers
John
the whole
super
screen so that you guys can go do something else
Exactly.
and then come back.
They make John super uncomfortable because like people talk about sex stuff and that makes him all blush.
I love it.
La
makes-
la
it-
la la la.
It gives me such a huge chub thinking about
I was
that.
gonna say, hey, boner?
Just like watching him get embarrassed by my hands.
But I'll tell you something. A lot of the time, I feel very stupid. Then I hear your commercials, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I am far from the stupidest person on the planet."
That's
It
true.
makes me feel so good about myself.
Yeah.
You find the dumbest of the dumb, and I appreciate
I
it.
really do.
So
Scraping a barrel.
So how is everyone doing? Randy, what's new in your world? What's going on with Cult 45?
Right now, we're in the middle of our Black Horror Month. Our next episode will be coming
Black
out
horror
kind
or
of like
black horror?
Black Horror.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. Black horse. I was confused.
Nope, we do not have a Black Horror Month. Not yet. B's been pushing one for years, but I couldn't find a string of movies. But yeah, we're like, because we did all horror movies last month for October, and now because nothing comes out in November that anybody wants to watch, apparently, we're going to I just find movies that are just more, the diversity hires, and so that way we can have a more robust catalog of movies we've watched.
What's on the agenda coming up?
Let's see. We did so far. Scream Blackula Scream was the first week. And next week is going to be Surviving the Game. And let's see. Then there's
Ice-T, right?
Yeah.
I remember that movie. Okay.
And then there's Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde.
That I've never seen.
I've never seen it. And the last one is going to be That Sweet Blood of Jesus.
Have you ever done Blackula?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I figured that had to be like one of them.
So the weekend I was in New York Comic Con. That's the week we did Blackula. I did it from my hotel room.
Oh,
Yep.
I want to hear that because that was I remember watching that. It was, well, yeah, it was down there, but I mean, it was.
No, William Marshall is like, he's like a really good actor, and I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
Give him more to do, right? But
Yeah.
you know how
That-
people are.
That last one, is that a vampire movie?
The Sweet Blood of Jesus is the Spike Lee remake of Ganja and Hess.
Okay, Ganja and Hess. I read an article
Yes.
about that
Okay.
last year. That seemed
And we
really.
did Ganja and Hess last year, so it was like,
Have you seen the Blood of Jesus?
no, I have not.
No, first time. Okay, I'm curious. Okay, I will definitely listen to that episode.
But I've seen Ganja and Hess, and it's like an A24 black vampire movie. And I was it's like, oh, okay. I'm not
Hey,
into
Frosty.
this, but whatever.
I've heard
Cool.
it's.
Well, everyone should definitely check those out because
Yeah,
it's the funniest podcast out there. It really is.
Yes, this is true.
it is. Thank you.
All right. How about you, JD? What's new in your world?
I got an interview today for a book. So
Really?
yeah, this guy who wrote like one of the pro wrestling nonfiction like of all time, one of the books, DM'd me out of the blue today and asked me to tell him a story that I tweeted about in 2015. And I was like, sure. So we did like a 10-minute interview on the phone. It was pretty awesome about the time I met Randy Savage at Gibson's Steakhouse in Chicago. That I no idea why. I have no clue why I tweeted about this back in 2015, but I did. So I told him one of my favorite high school stories, and he's like, "Yeah, this is gonna be part of the book I'm writing." And I went, "Oh, cool."
Wow.
So that was kind of neat. So that's highlight of my day. Wrestling starts tomorrow officially. So I'm not gonna sleep for the next 3 months.
Yeah. All right. And then about you, John? Anything new?
I'm up to episode 680 of
One Piece.
680 of One Piece. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I've only got about 500 episodes left.
That is the crux of your life.
That is a commitment right there.
Yeah, it's
That is a commitment.
it's something to do.
Whatever.
Things are getting interesting at my work, so I am doing things to not think about work right now.
Buying Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You know how when companies decide to outlay a lot of money that they decide to like lay off people in order to save the money that they're
Uh-oh.
which is interesting considering it's also officially been announced that Hulu Disney is going to buy out Comcast stake in Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
$8 billion, I believe, is the number floating around.
Yeah, they're still waiting for an official evaluation of it. Like 8 billion was I think it was 8 billion. Yeah, was the valuation, but I think it was from 2019, and now they're going to reevaluate it. So
that is not a number to sneeze at.
No, it isn't. And Hulu's been doing pretty good in the streaming wars, surprisingly.
It's the first.
But,
it's the first TV.
Yeah.
Like it was the first. Like what Netflix was to movies, Hulu was to TV. There was a time when we first got Hulu in 2014. I want to say, like you could get shows from every channel on there. It was better than cable, and they trimmed a lot of the fat. Now, no, I don't know why Disney wants Hulu. Like just so they can put some of their less Disney stuff.
I think so. Yeah,
well, they might merge it. They already have the switch to.
Yeah, but
actually,
why?
In other countries, it's called Star, I think, and it's Hulu and Disney Plus combined already. So you go into the app and you choose like which one you want to watch. Yeah, so
interesting.
But we'll do more on the streaming wars later in the news. Otherwise, I mean, exciting news. I've started talking to somebody. So T-minus 1 week from now to find out how I screwed up. But
yeah, John blows human contact. He didn't mean for a date. He actually is talking to a human being that he just saw randomly.
Not one of those AI friends that they've got now.
I know. This episode is brought to you by Magnet Dating. No.
AmishDating.com.
No.
If it's dating done by Magnet, the studio, that would be probably bad.
Yeah.
That's Black Mirror stuff.
Are you tired of churning butter on your own? Visit AmishDating.com and have someone churn for you.
I watched that commercial.
AmishDating.com. That just doesn't work. They don't have electricity.
That's the joke.
That's the point. Yeah.
That's the joke.
Are you trying to get freaky during Rosh Hashanah or wherever?
Jewish holiday, not an Amish holiday.
No. What's the one for the the Amish kids that they can go
Rumspringa?
Springa. Yeah.
Springa. Sorry.
Dude, that'd be an awesome horror movie, actually. A bunch of Amish kids on Rumspringa either murdering people or getting murdered. That down. That's a great idea.
Isn't that Children of the Corn?
No, that's not Children of the Corn at all.
No.
Isn't it a take on what's that the movie where they one day there's no laws and they can do whatever they want?
The Purge.
The Purge. So it's like if they're on Rumspringa, they can do whatever they want. So they go around killing people.
No, that'd be every
No,
horror
it's
movie.
not like that.
Oh, all right.
Don't
actually. That would be the twist. Is like one kid just takes it way wrong.
Way
and
too
it's like,
far.
wait, that's not what this was for.
That's actually like you could either do it like The Hangover, or you could go to the next level with it, and like we could just murder motherfuckers. Like it would be. No, Eli, you can't do that. There, dude,
No,
this
you
writes
can't
itself.
do that.
Get me Blumhouse on the phone.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I don't think it's going to work. You're going to upset the Amish viewers.
Both of them.
Oh, both of them.
So, my week was interesting.
Oh.
So Wednesday, not in a good. Well, some of it was in a good way. Wednesday, I went to bed, laying in bed with my my CPAP on. That's as important to the story.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a little after 11 or maybe 11:30, and I hear a crash outside. I mean, John knows where I live. It's a bad intersection. There's accidents. I mean, I talked about on the show 2 months ago, a car hit my house, right?
Yep.
So, like, I hear this bang. It was really loud, but it didn't sound like when the car hit my house the one time. So I didn't think much about it. But of course, you hear when a car gets in an accident, you hear the horn stuck on, and I'm like, trying to decide, do I want to get up and look or whatever. My son, who is still downstairs on his computer, because his computer's set up downstairs, so he's connected directly into the router, and all of a sudden he's calling me on my cell phone, and I'm like, so I got to turn my CPAP off, take my mask off. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, I think a car hit the house again. I'm like, no, it didn't hit the house. He's like, okay, but I think it's on fire and I smell smoke. And I'm like, what?
Oh dear.
So I turn my Ring camera on, and in front of my driveway, more in front of I share my driveway with my neighbor, so more in front of her house, sure enough, there's a car on fire. So I throw my shoes on, I go downstairs, I look out the window, and it's like, yeah, it's on fire and it's getting bigger. I call 911. They put me through to the fire department. I tell them where I'm at, and they're like, okay, there's already somebody coming, and I'll say within 30 seconds, the police and the fire department was out there, and they got it out pretty quick. But the funny thing about the story is, as I'm the computer set up in the dining room, and I'm in there with my son talking, and I'm inching. I didn't realize I'm doing this. I'm inching towards the kitchen as I'm talking to him. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? He's like, it's like you're trying to get farther and farther away, like you're trying to sneak into the kitchen to get farther away from the fire. So yeah, but yeah, they had it out pretty quick. And then I went outside after they got it out, and of course you go to the fire department. You're like, if you find a fireman, you're like, I got a dumb question. Is there any chance of this catching on fire again? Right? Because it was right under a tree too. So they're like, no. And then they came and took it away within, I want to say, 20 minutes after that. So
the tree.
No, the car.
The tree.
But wait, it gets better. Saturday, I'm getting ready to go out with my girlfriend, and someone rings my doorbell, and it's a little older Indian woman, and I'm like, yes. I'm just talking to her through the ring. I didn't go down and answer because I was upstairs, getting ready to get in the shower. And she starts she doesn't say, sorry to bother you or anything like that. She goes right into, there was an accident here the other night. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, oh, well, I can't remember everything she said, but basically, long story short, it was this car got into an accident with another car. The other car was being driven by this woman's wife, is what she said. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, well, I'm just wondering if your camera caught anything. I'm like, no, it didn't catch anything, And then she starts asking me all these questions. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't go outside while the car was on fire, and I only went out for like a minute afterwards, And she kept asking. I'm like, I don't know.
She's looking for something to probably help with the insurance,
Probably, but I don't.
Or
have
her
anything.
wife is cheating on her, and she's trying to find evidence. You guys don't think third dimensionally, yeah.
I was everyone was fine, right? No one got burned alive or anything like that. Like, I have to find who did this.
So she walks away, but I'm watching her in the camera.
Kimball, I'm man.
I'm watching her in the camera a little bit, and I realized there's 3 other people there. There's a little kid, and then two other people. Like they're too far away to make out anything about them, and they're like looking at the tree because the car did hit the tree and there's like a gash in it. So they're looking at the tree. They're looking at some of the debris that's still on the ground, like they're investigators or something, you know. And they were out there for a little bit, but like I don't know. I stopped watching them. I'm getting ready, and they ring my bell again, and I'm like, yes. And she's like, "Are you home?" And I'm like, I'm sorry. What do you want? I'm busy. And without missing a beat, she doesn't say anything. She just and the other people are now standing along my porch, and she turns to them and goes, "He's being rude now." And they all walk away, and it was just like, what? I don't know. It's just it's frustrating, like the entitlement I think people have anymore. You know, like I was just trying to like I told you what I knew. I told you I didn't have any information for you, and yet, you know. I mean, I agree with John. They probably were looking for something for the insurance, or maybe the police,
or maybe someone got hurt, and they're trying to figure out what happened.
And if nobody had a dash cam, yeah. If nobody
someone
had a dash
took their
cam,
Jade monkey out of the car, and it's the key to their family fortune.
So,
or someone like did. I got nothing. I was trying to come up with a funny joke, and I'm scraping the bottom.
I mean, from what I got from her, her wife wasn't the one in the car that caught on fire.
Maybe the car got stolen.
Maybe.
Oh,
there you go. But yeah, no, I mean my camera didn't catch anything like that. So
perhaps the tree actually hit the car. Had you considered that?
Like The Happening.
Yes.
Maybe who was in the car went into the tree, like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Maybe the car.
But then I did go out with my girlfriend, and it's funny because I posted about this on my Facebook today, and not John, JD, you'll understand this.
I will.
John won't. I'm not sure about Randy. You know when you're like with someone for a while and you fall into a routine?
Right? I've been married for 17 years. Yes.
Right. You see, you have very much a routine. So it's like it's good when like we just had a date night, right? Because we hadn't really done that in a while, and we had a really good time. We went to a place downtown called Fork. It's a restaurant. We ended up there by accident. I had reservations for another place, but when we got there, the place still closed. And this was like
the place was called Fork U.
Yeah.
No, the other place was a Japanese restaurant. I don't remember the name of it. And then we went to
Chopstick.
It was like called American Fare. It was an upscale restaurant.
Oh.
But it was like, I gotta say, it was one of the best meals I've had in a long time. Like,
okay.
I highly recommend it. If you live, what was that?
What did you have?
I had the pork tenderloin, and she had the sea bass, and it was really good. We also got a charcuterie board as our appetizer. It had this chicken pate on it that was out of this world, like best pate I've ever had. So, all I'm saying is, if you live in Philadelphia, and you're down in this is in the historical district where Independence Hall and everything is, I recommend Fork. It's a little pricey, but it's very good. So.
That's what I'm about to say. I was like, that whole thing sounded way out of my tax bracket.
So the real question is, did you after the show, after the movie?
What?
Did you get forked after the dinner when you went home? Was there involved? Post that. Did you spoon? If you got the knife involved, it's a little too kinky for me. Yeah. You never know.
No. No, because we ended up. Then we went to the
Big John. Looking away from the show now. Looking away from the camera now because he's so uncomfortable with.
We went. After dinner, we went to the Illusion Museum, which I don't recommend. It's more geared towards kids.
Because it was an illusion, wasn't there?
No, it's like cheesy visual effect stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
But then, afterwards, again, she had to get up early today, so we kind of we made out in the car a little bit, and then I went home. That was it. No forking last night.
I didn't expect an actual answer to that question, but thank you. So,
yeah.
So social media madness.
Right.
How's that looking?
Oh my God, we're actually pining for that now.
I know, right? Anything to get us out of this forking situation.
Well, actually, before we get to that, the other thing I did is I watched Loki, which I know you haven't been watching,
No.
JD.
No.
But I know John watched, and I know Randy watched. So, what did we think of this week's episode, John?
It just keeps getting better and better, and it's feeling more and more like a really good Doctor Who episode. So
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yeah, sorry to take your thunder there, but it's I this is the best thing they've done in a while, and I wish they would do more of it. Of course, we're going to talk about all the issues they've got, but I can't recommend this more, and it's funny. It's exactly what they need. It's so entertaining that you can't wait for the next episode, but you have no idea what's going to happen in the next episode.
At this point, I have to agree with that. That's been the best part. The last 3 episodes, you're like, what's going on? You have no idea. Yeah.
But you're dying to find out, and that's a good thing.
The next episode won't cost $25 million.
Yeah. Hopefully, right? Hopefully it'll just be one of those, because I was saying earlier, it was like Marvel has found their formula again back from WandaVision, where it's like the first episode gets you hooked, and then like the 4th episode explains why we're here, and then the second to last episode is like, oh, but there's a twist, and then like the last
and
episode
then Shyamalan comes in and ruins the whole thing.
Big battle fight thing.
Yeah.
God, even She-Hulk did that. I think about it.
She-Hulk was a huge bust.
Yeah.
She-Hulk did. Oh wait, no, you're talking about the show.
She-Hulk forked everyone.
Yeah, kind of what happened, including the budget.
Oh my God, that's insane. When I saw that,
$20 million for She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Is that billion or million?
25 million per episode. And there were 9 episodes.
It was for
one
episode.
A lot of CG.
A lot of tons. Yeah. A lot of let's be real. A lot of very mediocre CG too.
It still costs money.
Oh, for sure, no doubt.
I'm not saying it was like, it's not.
The CG was because the CG was because they overdid it. Like that was at the height of the we're shopping out to the lowest bidders and then telling them, you've only got half the time you would actually need.
Crazy about shopping out to the lowest bidders, it typically saves you money.
Yeah. Always, that lowest bidder thing, not a good thing.
That's why you do it.
Because it's like a contractor. It's more like if you go with the lowest bidder, you end up with shitty product and you have to pay someone else to fix it.
Exactly.
I think that's what happened. Actually.
Okay.
She-Hulk CG was shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but back to Loki real quick.
Back to Loki, yeah. So like
my only issue with this episode, and I feel like they do this, and again it goes back to the formula thing. They've done this in every show. It's the episode before the last is like feels a little bit like filler that's just setting up the end. It's like something they could have done within 10-20 minutes ends up being a whole episode.
Yep. WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel.
King.
They all did the same thing. They all did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's my only criticism. Like, I mean, this is a very character-driven episode, which if JD was watching, he would have loved.
I'm on a break.
You're on a break.
Marveled out.
I'm like totally marveled.
He's marveled out. I get it.
Which one's Ross and which one's Rachel?
I was going to say, are you seeing other franchises? I mean,
that was good, John. That was good. Star Wars.
Done. Well played.
But I like that. That was good. No, I'm tired of it. I'm like, I don't remember what the last Marvel thing we had to watch was. Oh no, it was the shitty Ant-Man movie. I just that just broke my will to live.
Yeah, that had issues. Big issues.
Well, next week will be really broken.
I still watch it.
Oh,
occasionally, every once in a while.
Really? The Ant-Man movie? Did you like it?
I didn't love it. and I liked it more than The Flash. How about that?
I think I like the Flash Stain praise.
But like,
These were a lot lower for them.
The thing about like, I think because of the way my podcast is run on bad movies or older movies or shitty movies, I have more exposure to like what's bad, and it's like, well, this ain't that bad, and this is pretty bad to everyone else. But it's like if you only watch 6 movies a year, then it's like, yeah, this is the worst thing you've seen all year.
I guess that's where I'm at right now, because I mean I don't get to watch a lot of movies anymore, and when I go to the theater, like I really want to be entertained and have something good. And I don't know, Blue Beetle is the best thing I saw, other than Spider-Verse.
I think I don't know. I think Quantum Mania was how do I put this?
Shitty.
It wasn't the worst thing, but I think the biggest problem to me with Quantum Mania was they've set Kang up to be the big bad, and this is the criticism a lot of people are saying. He's easily beaten by Ant-Man.
But like we know he's going to get beaten by Ant-Man again. They tell you that in the first 10 minutes of the movie, because who the hell sent him to the quantum realm?
Then why do I care? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that. It's like
that's what every other director has done the same thing, where they give, like Christopher Nolan will give you a small cosmos of his movie before he gives you the rest of the movie, especially like Inception or Interstellar or like Memento, where he gives you a little piece of what's going to go happen, and then there's a twist, and then like no, and then we go through the rest of the movie, like in Oppenheimer, the idea of like trying to kill one guy with a poison apple, but then realizing that you could hurt someone that you really care about doing this, and then I don't want to make this poison apple.
I'm going to give you your flowers for comparing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania to Oppenheimer. Yeah. And doing it straight face. And I kudos, sir. I don't think I could even have done that.
That's why I'm saying I watch a lot of bad movies, and it's like, I see all the flaws. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not saying it's like literally number 6 on my list of like.
I think that's fair. That's fair. I mean, when you watch bad movies, yes. I guess where I'm is I don't want to watch mediocre movies. I would rather watch bad and mediocre movies, because at least bad movies have some charm, where I think a lot of mediocre movies feel like churned out. And that's where I feel like a lot of the Marvel stuff is right now. I feel like it's churned out. I feel like it's widgets. I feel like a lot of the heart has kind of escaped from a lot of these things. And it's
number 13.
And I'm turned on it. I feel like if I go into watching Loki with this attitude, I'm like, this is ass. This is trash. And I'm going to look for stuff to come on here and say, I don't fucking like it. This is dumb. Yeah. Right. And I'm not in a space like it's going to be bad next week when I have to watch the Marvels, especially after what we read earlier today. I'm going to be like just snippy about everything. Like I'm in such a bad place with it.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like Loki is as good as it was last season, and we liked the first season of Loki. So it's not like it's not something bad to watch. But I get what you're saying. You're just in a bad place with Marvel altogether. That
you're talking about last season of Loki. I'm sitting going, Sylvie was overrated as all hell. Like this is stupid alligator. Like stuff that I liked a year ago. When I'm looking back on it, I'm like being in my mind. I'm like turning on it. Right? Like I'm in such a bad place with this that I can't even like stuff that I like. You know? Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Yes, you need therapy.
Well, yeah, that's true. I can't argue that about
it. Show us on the doll where the Marvel Cinematic Universe touched.
Right here, Randy. Right here in my heart. Yeah. It burned it.
Awesome.
Hello, Cassandra.
All right. So real quick to wrap this up then, guys have any predictions on how this is going to end?
Regular movies now.
John, you have any predictions on that? How this is going to wrap up?
The only, I mean, here's the problem is that, I mean, from what I've heard, it's supposed to end with setting up Kang as the primary Kang as the next big bad, and
here's where that's a problem.
Yeah, I know exactly, and set it up going into the next few movies, I guess. And JD, that is the problem.
Well, could be, might not be, but go ahead.
But still, like
DC let a terrorist have his own movie. It should be fine.
That would great.
It went great.
We're selling.
We didn't make $1 billion, but it went
We're
great.
selling our entire studio to Universal. It went awesome.
It went great.
Back the raw horse.
Peacock's gonna be showing the Flash every week now.
I think it's gonna be with Loki in charge of the TVA, and he's pulling a Mr. Nobody now, and not many people have seen that movie, Mr. Nobody, but he basically can travel along his entire timeline now. That should make him pretty much the most powerful being in the universe, or one of them. But who knows? Maybe he saves the TVA. That future of the TVA going away goes away, and he loses the power because that's where it came from, because of the splintering timelines and stuff. Who knows? But I think it's going to be Loki in charge of the TVA.
I need to ask Ray where the MCU hurt him.
Yeah.
It's going to end with Kathleen Kennedy putting a chick in it and making them lame.
Kathleen Kennedy is just...
Kathleen Kennedy has nothing to do with Marvel.
Say, they put her into charge of Marvel?
No, they didn't.
Although that's what they did apparently to Blade. So we'll cover that.
We'll get into that. All right, what do you about you, Ray? What do you think?
I like all the other Star Wars crap.
What about you, Randy?
My last thoughts on Loki that I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think they're setting up Loki to be He Who Remains at the very end of the time. Because I remember when the first season of Loki came out, they were talking about who is at the end of the road, and one of the options was it was going to be Loki. Loki was going to be the guy at the very end, just being the last Loki, the Loki of the God of Stories. That's what they called him.
Yeah,
and it's like, and now we end this episode with it. I can rewrite the story, and okay. Oh, he said it. So.
Right, because that's what he is in the comics now. He's the God of Stories, not the God of Mischief. So, yeah, I can see that. Watch the South Park Pandaverse for the reference. They ripped Disney a new ass. Okay. I haven't watched South Park in years.
But it is something that's actually come up.
Yeah.
I saw
Gina Carano called it out.
I feel like everyone need to watch that episode again and realize that they're making fun of the Twitterverse. Not Kathleen Kennedy. They're making fun of the voice who's saying all these is Cartman, the worst character.
I think people miss that, and I haven't seen a South Park in a long time, but I think people miss that when they're speaking through Cartman, they're making fun of the worst people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people it's like the people that identify with Rorschach. Rorschach has great ideas. And it's
oh no, he's the worst.
You missed the point.
Rorschach would have been there on January 6th. Front and center.
Front and center. Narrating
with his dirty sock on.
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
All right, so back to Loki.
Now we're going to be YouTube copyright struck because of that. I don't know what just happened there.
Wow, what was that? We're getting.
I'm trying to avoid any political talk.
We got Chadwicked.
I know. We gotta. Okay.
That's my new thing now. Whenever we go off the rails to something I don't want us to get into, I'm going to play that.
So let's talk about the 2024 election.
I know, right?
I don't want to.
Anyway,
you guys watch Delta Force? You guys talk about that?
Dude, that was so great. I laughed. I didn't even know what movie you were talking about, but the second you were talking about you heard the theme song for the 47th time, I was Delta Force. I know exactly. If you see Delta Force, you know that theme, and they play it. They made one song for the Delta Force soundtrack, and it plays constantly. And I'll be honest with you, Randy, I love it so much.
I like the movie. I really hate the theme.
I think. I think you guys are right of setting up Loki to be the He Who Remains, but at the same time, I heard a theory that this is still all Kang's plan, and that somehow he still comes in, and takes over the TVA. Because if you really think about everything that they've said, he didn't create the TVA; he took it over. That's what they've revealed in this season. He took it over, and then so this is Loki. I think Loki ends up creating it. Is what the whole thing is going to be.
But what you said about about He Who Remains, this is still his plan. That's literally what Miss Minute said.
Right.
So he probably foresaw all of this, I think.
Right.
So,
yeah. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I think they are gonna be trying to do something to set Kang up, and who knows where that's gonna go. So
it's fine. If we can swap out Rick Sanchez, I think we can swap out Kang the Conqueror.
Voice actor did a really good job.
Yeah.
There's only a few times when you could tell it quite wasn't the original voice actor.
No one cares.
So, related to that, we can get into social media madness, guys.
Yeah.
So, of course, the big story was this stuff that came out from this retreat they had in Florida for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, I think you're saying. I thought we weren't allowed to talk about some January 6th stuff, Dave.
I know.
I said retreat in Florida. What are you?
What, in Mar-a-Lago?
Nice.
That was the joke. It's a joke. 8-Bit Races. I have Loki to watch, but I'm going to watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure instead. That's a great movie, and I think it's aged pretty well.
That's fair.
So one of the things that came out of this, and we'll talk about it more, but is that one of the rumors is they've considered bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson to have the original 6 Avengers in the next Avengers movie. So I kind of asked our audience, is that a good idea? Do you think it would undermine the death of those characters in the previous movies? And we got some answers over on the internets. Let's start with the TikToks, where Colby Carter said, "Only from another verse. However, no." 8-Bit Ray said, "It's all they got." The homie B said, "I don't think they should, but if they bring RDJ back, I say it should be an AI for Morgan when she gets or makes her suit." And Chioma Week 9 said, "Yes, please." So interesting. Some people are kind of sworn on this.
It's my favorite part of the show when Dave tries to read Twitter handles.
Like,
we're getting a guy advertising. We got a guy advertising his services to us during our show. This is a new one. You guys see this one over here?
Yes.
Oh, don't put it up, but I'm
not going to put
reading
it up
right now, and I'm
right.
mildly entertained that someone is actually interviewing, or excuse me, is actually trying to while we're doing our show. It's like a reverse.
Yeah.
What?
We usually get lots of DMs and emails throughout the week.
This right here, but not during the show. Like,
yes.
Why?
I don't know. I'm like, let's talk. I will never.
Don't put it up. Put it up.
Well, no, I did. I put it up because I'm like, I will never use your services, sir, because you're interrupting our show. You fucking dork.
I'd rather eat my testicles raw.
Chopsticks than watch them bring them back. I would watch.
Wow.
I disagree. I disagree because Marvel sucks and Robert Downey Jr. is awesome.
Over on the Twitters, we had Kassan said, "No, bringing back RDJ and ScarJo is the nail in the coffin. It's evidence that their writing is weak or dead, and further exacerbates how crappy the story is by hand waving 2 dead characters back to life. I hate multiverses and timelines."
It's like you don't even read comics. Like,
Come on.
Come on.
It's not like they've done this before.
Right. I mean, it's all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Random.
Boy, this comic book is dying. Whatever should we do? Oh, crossover with one of our bigger guys.
Or bring back the character we killed. Bring the character we killed 5 years ago back to life. Yeah.
Yes. That's what we do.
Randy said, how are we going to get 10 more movies out of these two? It's time we make fun movies. Make the old guard like these new Disney hire and stop making these hit pieces.
Wait, you can't say diversity? Is that what it is?
Oh, diversity. I thought it said Disney. Wow.
No.
New diversity hires and stop making these hit pieces. Yes, I can't say diversity.
Okay.
We don't
I was
do
worried
that
about YouTube freaking out about. Oh no, no.
Apparently, Kasai would rather eat his testicles as well.
Or watch Ray eat his testicles. There's much
Yeah.
more fun in watching someone eat their own testicles. Ray says it's insulting to the legacy of the Infinity Saga. To bring them back, yeah, sure, but these movies suck. So what do you want?
It's not like there was a whole ass mural in like Far From Home. There's not like a whole sequence in Miss Marvel dedicated to them. It's not like there's a whole movie about what's happening to. It's not even like a plot point in Hawkeye, I guess. Like, come on, we use their deaths to create tragedy and trauma. And motivation for others.
We brought half the universe back in the last Avengers movie. We can bring back Robert Downey. I don't even care about Scarlett Johansson. You can bring back Robert.
And the whole thing is they couldn't bring them back for reasons. Well, I mean, RDJ dies afterwards, but like you couldn't bring Scarlett Johansson back or Black Widow for reasons.
If Robert Downey Jr. wants to come back, regardless, we're going to take him back. Turn him evil. Make him someone else. I don't care. He's entertaining to watch, and I'm just not entertained. Like I know behind
him as evil AI for Ironheart.
I would like that. Evil AI, I would be all about that. Evil Iron Man as Robert Downey Jr. Love it. Do that.
He can sit in a booth and just like do the voice the entire time.
With that. Perfectly fine with that. I would be entertained by it.
Timothy Jones said they should absolutely bring back Scarlett any day of the week and Robert Downey Jr. back 3,000 times.
Sour grapes. By the newspapers across this Great Lake.
Nice.
Yes.
He's got a book coming out too. I wish Tim would plug it actually, because I forget the details off the top of my head. But he's got a book coming out.
Yes, he does have a book coming out. I keep seeing that.
We should have him on to plug it, and because it'd be nice to get in real time his comments.
That's true. Real time dad jokes.
Doom says nope. They need to fire their writers and press on toward Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Hey, Dave, you know there's a function on this where we can actually show the tweets while we're reading them? We should do that.
There is?
I'm just thinking, yeah, there is. I'll show you after the show. Sorry,
okay.
I have no inner monologue.
Okay.
The way you like censored me, you could probably bring up the tweets.
Again, though, it's not the characters that they brought on; it's the writing. You could make any almost any character good as long as the writing's good, but their writing has been subpar.
Yes and no.
It's not okay. Writers get thrown under the bus. I know John does this all the time. Well, the writing is bad. The writing is bad. This is work by community. Writers do what they're told to do. This is from the top. We're talking about what Kevin, the writers
executives are stupid.
Directors are bad. This is Kevin fucking Feige. Lay the blame where it belongs. This goes to the top. We're doing what he wants. Don't toss people are tossing these filmmakers under the bus. This is Marvel. For years we've talked about how directors don't have control of their own pictures. It's work by committee. Kevin Feige is the showrunner. That is true on a good movie and a bad movie. So if he gets the credit, he gets the blame too.
Well, also
way fired up about that.
We know that he's been way overextended. Right? He's been way overextended.
By whose choice?
He should have been but Feige should be the one to sit there and say, I can't handle anymore. You need to hire somebody else to work under me or something like that.
How about no? This is bad.
Right? That too.
Or someone tell him, Kevin, this is a terrible idea. Let's not do this.
Yeah. The problem with that though is again with things going on at work, it's reminding me of how bad decision making is at the CEO level. It's like even Kevin Feige. If Kevin Feige said this is a bad idea, even after the whole Infinity War saga, 12 years of record-breaking movies, even at that point, Iger would probably still can him because CEOs just are dumb sometimes.
No, I don't know. But here's the thing, though. I think that when it comes to Disney specifically, is they tend to give their successful execs a lot of room. Yeah. Right. And Kevin Feige has a lot of room. And when you have a bunch of hits, you start thinking, okay, I call this the Stephen King paradox, right? Man wrote a lot of great books, but he went through a really rough streak where his work kind of sucked. And no editor has the heart to tell Stephen King, hey, man, Dreamcatcher, the butt demons, not a great idea.
Yeah.
Nobody had the guts to tell the man who was all whacked up on painkillers after he almost died in a van accident to say, Yeah, this isn't. No, maybe we don't put this one out.
Well, Lucas, Ewoks, and Jar Jar Binks.
Whoa! Take that back about the Ewoks, or I'm going to fight you.
All right, okay, hold
Fight,
on.
Well,
fight.
I didn't realize that was. But Jar Jar Binks, come on.
Yeah, I'll give you Jar Jar.
Okay, Shadow Walker, who we haven't heard from in a while, said
Back from the shadows.
there is an easier solution. Just make the Avengers into a Disney Plus series. It would save them cast and such, and they could incorporate the new next
No one
few
watches
Avengers
them now
movies
anyway.
into one
Yeah,
show.
I think that's a terrible idea because they have devalued their Disney Plus series so much to the point where nobody watches them.
Not only that, when these Disney Plus series aren't as cheap as you think.
This is true. $125 million for an episode of She-Hulk.
And then finally on Twitter, Martin, who's at Wingboy Martin, said, "First off, Scarlett Johansson already let the world know she ain't coming back. I don't know what source you got this from, but they better check their facts."
Variety.
Yeah. Second, I will be excited for them to reunite. Third, it's already been note that they're going to do a small reboot. So there's your answer. That's a rumor. We talked about that last week. It's
Secret War is supposed to be the reboot.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, and that's a rumor. There's nothing to prove that. Yeah.
He was really mad, not like fake mad, like I just was.
Yeah. Are you sure you were fake mad?
He was big.
I'm a good actor.
Okay.
I do love the Ewoks, though.
And then the last person that commented, this was over on Facebook, was your good friend Drew.
Hey, he's a friend of the show. I don't know where he's been lately.
First, he just said nope, and then he replied to his comment and said, "I'd rather they reset the universe and bring them back. A reset to build to build to their big story could work more smoothly, especially since they have more characters to do with it than they were stuck with in the 2000s."
So I'm noticing a trend here with a lot of these comments.
But for me, wait, hold on, he still goes
sorry.
on. But for me, I'll see what they do with mutants. Also specials instead of shows on Disney Plus. Oh, okay. The shows feel like 8 hours long movie stuff that wouldn't be viable in the theaters.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. That's a lot of people's complaints about the shows.
Because no one was hired to write TV. They were hired to write movies.
All right, so what's the trend you're noticing?
A lot of people want a reboot. So, like, my question is: do people want a rebooted Avengers doing the exact same thing we did the last time? Because I think that if they rebooted the Avengers, we should get like a different lineup of Avengers. Am I crazy when I say that?
You're crazy, but not when you say that.
Fair.
I think you're right? Because like Endgame felt like the end of the saga. Like we're done, boom, and yet they're still trying to continue on with the remaining people that are around and bring in their C-level heroes and build something with them. And it's just been a mess. Like it felt like no direction, which also they talked about in that article we'll get to. But yeah.
Well, okay, so I have a thing about that because like the problem I had with, or the problem I think it was, is the internet is a constant thinking machine. Yeah. Like if I gave you,
it's a constant machine. I don't know if I would say thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's thinking, right? Especially when it comes to these Marvel crap. They're like, all right, we're making a movie. It's called Secret Invasion. What's the movie going to be about? Well, probably about the Secret Invasion comic, right? Yeah, it's going to be exactly that. Well, now that movie's boring, and you can't make that movie. Okay, so we're going to have a show. It's called Daredevil. What's it going to be about? It's going to be based on the Frank Miller stuff. All right, then everyone reads the Frank Miller stuff, and now it's boring because you've already read it, so you can't just redo that shit. And it's like having like the fact that no one knows what they're going to do next also puts them in a very good position to do something unexpected. And they should be working towards that, but instead they keep working on like adding more to the pot, like more characters, more stuff, more things. And it's like they need a payoff. They need a small payoff right now, something big enough to get them into the next phase. And then so people were like, because I think honestly, Secret Invasion should have been the payoff. Been like, by the way, everything from the first movie has been messed with a little bit. We're not gonna, and I'm gonna show you because the first time we saw Martin Freeman was in Civil War, and the last time we saw Martin Freeman was in Secret Invasion, and he always shows up with T'Challa, but we never know when he became a Skrull. Has he always been a Skrull? Has he been a Skrull this entire time? And it's like, oh, Maria Hill. Yeah, we've seen her. She's been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's been popping up in movies. She's done this and that and that. By the way, she's dead now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sucks. Yeah. We're not going to do anything about that.
That was the cheapest death, too. I mean, like,
and
Maria fucking Hill goes out like that.
Had she be she was the queen of the Skrulls. Like, what? This whole time?
That's the thing, too, right? Like, it was a wasted death. Like, she hasn't been around forever, except for one after credit scene in what was it?
Spider-Man?
Infinity War.
Well, she was a Skrull in there.
Spider-Man Far From Home. She was in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Randy.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
And then like she's in the TV stuff. That was where we saw her the most. Every time every time the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. needed to tie into the movies, she'd show up. And it's like, now they're like, no, those Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. movies, they're in their own universe. So that doesn't make any sense. Then why is she like that?
Right.
Is the problem, this brings up the point, is the problem that we're almost adhering to the comics a little too much? And like you're talking about, Randy, and that like, well, we're going to do Born Again. Well, it's Frank Miller's. I know that whole story. Well, no, we're going to tweak it. And it's like, well, why would you tweak it? Like, are you better off trying to do your own thing rather than just slapping the name of a famous story on an event and then not hitting those notes that you want? Like, because you could have done a Skrull invasion and not called it Secret Invasion and then just done your own thing. Like, it worked for Civil War because the Civil War comic book was ass, but the movie was pretty good.
And I think that's the plan. Like, I think that would have been made more sense not calling it Secret Invasion, just calling it the Skrulls, or like or
Skrull Invasion, Skrull War.
Here's one of the things too. Right?
Shit, I don't know.
I think Randy is hitting a really good point here too, in the fact that like it's been 5 years since the last Avengers movie.
Yeah. Right.
Like we got used to, we're 3 or 4 years of like movies that interconnect, and then boom, now they're all together in a story, right? Like we got little pieces. We don't have that, and that's why this feels like a mess. Nothing built to something that was like, okay, here's the payoff. Where
there was also a pandemic in the middle of this, so
this is true.
Maybe give them 6 years.
I agree, but it doesn't feel like they had a plan to do that at all, though. Right? Like Secret Invasion could have been that payoff.
Well, WandaVision was supposed to be the last thing that shows up. Like originally, WandaVision was supposed to show up now, right now.
Yeah.
And like in an alternate timeline where there was no pandemic, WandaVision was the last thing we saw after Loki, after all this other stuff, after 3 more movies, after Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out, where we learn about Kang, and now we get Wanda again. It's like, what the? Everything changed. That whole, and like, so the rewrites to try and make everything work again caused us all to fail.
But okay, the problem too is that in the corporate desire to put out more content, you've upped the amount of content to the point where you've numbed the viewer. Like we used to get 1-2 movies a year. Right now we just get a constant onslaught. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I thought about this. So from WandaVision till Spider-Man No Way Home, that's 10 movies.
Mm-hmm.
From Moon Knight till Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, that's 9 movies.
Mm-hmm.
From Ant-Man to the Wasp, we've only had maybe 6.
Yeah, I think all that stuff beforehand makes the rest feel like homework.
Yeah,
and
I think it's like, think about how much stuff there is now.
So,
that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad if the writing was good. If the quality was still at the same level.
Okay,
but is it because they've spread out their?
JD just said it. JD just said it. It feels like homework, but it's homework that doesn't pay off to anything.
Exactly, and that's the other problem, right? Because again, they've spread their resources too thin. They didn't concentrate on keeping the quality up to where it should be. Feige's got too many irons in the fire. Like it's just they're dropping the ball, and it's because all they see is the dollar signs, and they think, hey, we put anything out, we'll get the money, and that's not what got them to Infinity War. That's not the thinking that got them to the, what, $30 billion that the first 10 years got them.
No, and that's the problem. Like I said, that's the thing. It's like, I'll do the Goldblum joke. They got so excited to see if they could, they never thought about if they should.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the issue. Is like I said, when we went to the first Avengers movie, in 2011 we got 2 movies leading up to Avengers.
Yeah.
So we were getting about a movie a year upon average. And people weren't not talking about Marvel. They were really excited about Marvel. But then they ramped it up because they got cocky with how much stuff they had. And for the most part, they were hitting. And they hit a lot. And it started to slip a little bit, but not like bad. They just got like repetitive. Like that was it. Like, one Marvel movie, you've seen them all. But I mean, excuse me, the character stuff is good. So, we'll let it ride. Because again, character over plot. Now we don't have great characters. I think that's part of the problem, right? I don't think a lot of these, like Loki, but Loki's old school. Loki's at wave 1, right? So you're riding out a character you already know and you have established. Excuse me.
I mean,
now what do we got? Like
this is still technically phase 4.
Yeah, and it's phase.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the bridge between phase 4 and phase 6, I guess. I don't know where we're still in.
I don't know,
Where's
so
phase 5?
Yeah.
Kassan says the movies don't pay off to anything because the studios don't care about the stories. They care about merchandise and dipping into the same well.
Yeah, see,
this
I agree
mindset
with
limits
Kassan.
what that can be done in a story. I agree to a point, but I don't feel like they started off that way. I think it just
and it's the same guy in charge. We can blame the executives all we want, but the same dude that was running stuff when Iron Man 1 came out in 2008 is the same dude that's in charge now.
Yeah,
same guy.
Yep.
Like, is he answering to Disney? Maybe. Like, it's the same, but it's no different. Like, he's the one who's spearheading all this, going, yeah, man, let's have all these shows. Let's do Werewolf by Night. It won't make any sense. It won't be any good, but we'll put it out there.
Hey, I still like that one.
Ass.
It's not great.
But we agree on most of everything else they put out. What was bad and what was, what was bad?
Right, pretty good point. Marvel's had a lot of curveballs thrown their way, but it's no excuse for quality. And that's the thing too, is they had everything worked, right? When they casted an unknown Chris Hemsworth, he was great as Thor. When they brought Robert Downey Jr. back, because remember, everybody had written that guy's career out before Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but that was that was a small indie film. Now he got a big tentpole and he was great. So every gamble they made paid off, right? James Gunn and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Boom. Yeah. Launched 1 million careers. So I get them getting cocky about all this stuff and thinking that they have the secret sauce. But I just saw, for a second, he had that Eternals out, right? That movie was boring. It wasn't very good. That's what it comes down to. It's like, and I'm sorry, I firmly believe this. It doesn't have the jokes, but it doesn't have a lot of heart either. And the Marvel stuff, it's not about jokes. It's about heart at the end of the day. And I feel like a lot of the stuff post WandaVision specifically, I like WandaVision, is lacking heart.
Well, that's what made Guardians of the Galaxy work, was heart.
Yeah, heart, 100%.
But again, it comes down to the writer, because James Gunn can do heart. He can make you care about characters, And
again, there's the same quality filter at the top.
All right.
But you still like Loki season 1 though, which is right after WandaVision though.
That worked. I should say WandaVision. I like Falcon Winter Soldier, but I do think Loki season wasn't as good as WandaVision. So I hold WandaVision number 1.
I love Hawkeye. I don't care what anyone says.
I got through one episode of Hawkeye and turned it off.
And I want her to come back.
I like Hawkeye too.
You know what?
I love Hawkeye.
I think that's enough social media madness for the moment.
God damn, we're an hour in it. We just finished social media madness.
So if you want to know how you can follow us on social media and be a part of social media madness,
where's my commercial? No.
Here's our good friend Don to tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Do you want to be part of social media madness? Well, go ahead and head on over to superheroespeak.com. You'll find all the links you need, episodes of the show, comic reviews by Chris, and other articles. We're posting stuff on there all the time. And while you're there, you can also check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars podcast network. Include great shows like the Pop Prison Power podcast, Colt 45, baby, So Wizard podcast, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Hashtag GW All Stars, and you're not going to be disappointed. So, make sure that you are commenting on our Twitter articles. Could be a poignant comment, could be a stupid one. Either way, gives you a chance for Dave to possibly mispronounce your Twitter handle. All right, well, I've rambled on enough. Let's head back to Dave and the gents on Superhero Speak.
Well done. Well done.
Really?
Yeah.
JD, you're still muted.
He's David, JD, you're just going off, man. We can't hear you.
No, I
Damn
can't
it.
hear you.
Damn
There
it.
is. Oh, there it
I
is.
was coughing and had to mute myself.
Look,
Barry and Dave did nobody. So this is the perfect week for Don's commercial here because Dave was butchering names left and right.
Uh-huh.
I know.
And making me social media madness this week.
All
Oh.
right.
Shit.
Also, if you're watching us right now and you're not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button. Click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live here on Sunday nights. Yeah. And all right. I think on that note, we will take a commercial break. And I want to ask Randy to put... This is usually where we would ask a guest to plug something, but we don't need
Nah,
to
it's
do
fine.
that.
I got you.
We'll just roll this.
Roll the
commercial.
commercial.
Roll the
Some
clip.
podcasts are like this.
You seem like you work hard in bed.
I have to.
Are you into her having an orgasm? or
It's not
what?
my kink. I couldn't care for it as much as I know they don't come back if you don't.
Really?
Yeah. If you don't make them, they don't come back. Rule of thumb. They tell their friends the next day he was great. Girls say
group
he's great or
chat.
bad in bed is whether or not they had an. You want a good review in their group chat. It's
I
Ryan.
don't always expect to have one. Maybe this is like a generational
I don't either.
thing.
I'm a big faker.
I appreciate that. Guys are offended. I'm like, thank you.
I stopped faking a while ago because I can't respect you if you bought that performance.
And some podcasts are like this.
How do you just put a gas station somewhere? Where do they get the gas? There's grass right there, right? Under that grass, mud. Where's the oil? Listen, don't let me finish. That was not there. There was nothing there but open terrain and land. And they just decided, hey, we're gonna put a gas station here. How do they put down the gas pumps and then they just put a wire down or like a tube down there and then all of a sudden magical gas pops up? How do they get the gas in?
Take your beanie off and reset you. There's no way that you are this naive to the world.
Okay, well, where's the tub of gas, right?
There's huge tanks at the bottom that they built, like massive tanks. And every night, maybe not every night, but every night, every other night.
So the tank's already there?
No, they build the tank. Like you build a swimming pool. Like
you're dumb.
You don't have a pool in your backyard. It's grass and dirt. You dig a big hole, then you lay it with concrete. Insert pool. You don't have tanks. You clear the ground, dig hole, build said tanks, build gas station.
How big are the tanks?
They're massive.
That's anticlimactic.
But only one podcast is where you can get in-depth analysis like this.
Anti-Grizzly goes to the fucking director. That's come on, bro.
Yeah,
that's
it's like,
classless.
come on,
classless.
I guess, bro. But like, you
Say
could just
based on the truth. Do something.
Just make a documentary if you're gonna be that guy. Just be that guy.
No, dude.
The documentary.
Check it out. The editor was like, "Yo, I gotta tone this down a bit," and the director was like, "Bitch, what are you doing? You're killing the movie." The editor tried. The editor was the last line to fix. He was like, "Dude, this is ridiculous." And also, I'm not playing his music 85,000 times.
Play the damn thing one more time. Play it so I can finish.
Dude, real talk. I was getting snacks, humming that shit. Like, God damn it!
I heard it all day long. It was all day
You are now listening to Cult 45.
This is Beat 'em Down.
And I'm Random Randy Savage.
Find us on all your podcatching apps like Podbean or Spotify. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or just go to www.cult45podcast.com.
Also, check out our YouTube for that sweet, sweet video content.
Cult 45, the only podcast that puts hair on your chest.
Jesus.
My only criticism with that ad is you should have cut the second clip off before the his friend explained how a gas station is built. So
No. It's better that way when the guy
really?
gets confronted
I
with
love
how
the like
stupid he is.
anticlimactic.
That's great too. He's like, oh, that actually makes sense. Who is that guy and how is he this stupid?
I don't know, but that's their podcast. That's all it is. Because I have another clip for next week. So
Oh, they actually have a podcast? That's their deal?
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
That's what their deal is. That's what they do.
I honestly feel like people do that on purpose, like to get views.
I don't know if he's that good of an actor, to be honest with you. That guy, I think he might just be stupid.
Wow.
Ray says the Echo trailer did nothing for him. So let's talk about that first. Yeah. The Echo trailer came out this week, guys.
You mean Punisher season 4?
Nice.
No, Daredevil season 4.
Daredevil's.
Nah, it's
5.
Yeah, but I got it.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I kind of agree with him. Like,
ditto.
We had Vincent D'Onofrio and Daredevil in this trailer, and it was like, I don't know. What did you think, Randy?
I was like, I wanted them to work on her powers to do the thing, and I was like, oh, so we're not doing that thing. No, she's gonna get tattoo powers. She's gonna be that tattoo lady from the Elektra that no one remembers. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that could work, but I really wanted, like, you're not gonna even try to like make her Taskmaster then. Like, we didn't even bother using that person very long in fucking Black Widow. We might as well just give the powers to her. Whatever. Just I'm not excited, but I'm still gonna watch it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. John?
Not excited either. Basically the same. Not excited. I'll watch it. It was kind of funny to hear one of the showrunners say, "Oh, you know, the fact that she copies other people's moves, it's, you know, that's a lame power. That's not her power." It's like, oh, so you've changed things around.
But she's called Echo for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly what you said. So I mean, we're straying farther and farther from the spirit that gave us the first 10 years. I'm not. I like he said. I will watch it, but I'm not psyched about it.
It's like making a Flash TV show, but he doesn't run fast. Like, that's not his power.
Right. That's a stupid power. No, it's actually.
I got a feeling I know how you feel, JD.
It's like 6 episodes where he doesn't run fast.
But
I'm not going to pretend to give a shit about Echo, and I'm not going to. I remember. Here's the thing. I remember reading Brian Bendis' New Avengers when they had the new Ronin. Right? Who was new Ronin? That was a mystery. Like, who is? Because Clint Barton had gone back to being Hawkeye. He was not Ronin anymore. Who is the new Ronin? And they unmask her, and they go, "It's Echo." And I remember going, "Who?" Because I had not read Daredevil and going, "Oh, I don't care." And that's how I feel now. I've never cared about Echo. I'm not going to pretend to care about Echo. I'm not going to watch this show. Vincent D'Onofrio was the Kingpin rules. Love Charlie Cox's Daredevil. Would love it if they put a show together again. But we're not. We're getting Echo. We're not getting Daredevil. We're getting Echo. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're not going to get a Daredevil show. We're going to get an Echo show. Why would we do things that work? Why can't we do things with stars that people give a shit about? No, we have to shoehorn all these D-list characters that nobody cares about. So why am I supposed to care? God, I hate this company.
How do you really feel, JD?
Right there.
I fucking hate them. That's what they hit me in the heart. Like, I'm like a fucking vampire. They stab me in the heart repeatedly at sunup. Assholes.
And there is our next clip quote for you.
Yeah, if you're listening, that was a pretty good one.
I mean, wow.
Wow.
You're not wrong though.
Who cares about Echo?
Yeah, and the fact that we see Daredevil for like 1 second in the trailer tells me that's pretty much probably all we're getting of him in the show.
Yep.
It's probably like a flashback or something like that as well. You know,
they brought him back like 3 years ago and they've done nothing with him. So walk on in Spider-Man, he fucked She-Hulk, and he shows up in Daredevil and walks away. And they fired the whole writing staff. I hate this company.
That's right.
But I mean, hopefully
she's always had powers. Like, I don't understand that, Ray.
Ray says it wasn't enough that she was a badass assassin in Hawkeye. Now they have to give her powers to empower deaf people. Was that the point of like I could have begun with was to give deaf people a hero? Like I gotta be honest with that one. Like that was always kind of Echo.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I agree. Like, yeah, that was the point.
And it worked because Daredevil was the blind superhero. So I get the why. I just don't get like the why are we here? JD, do you Kassan asked, JD, do you consider Daredevil an A-list actor, a character? Yeah, 100%. I don't think Charlie Cox is an A-list actor. He's not an A-list actor. What made Daredevil so good was great writing and reduced studio interference. I can't say reduced studio interference because it sounds like Jeff Loeb was a giant pain in the ass on all those shows. So I think that's not accurate about the studio interference thing. I think it's different studio interference that kind of worked, but no, Daredevil absolutely is an A-list character.
And there was studio interference because Perlmutter was in charge then, and he didn't want them to be connected.
Which is the whole reason why we had the split with Marvel TV and the Marvel films was because of the studio. It's just different studio interference.
Right.
Yeah.
So that just worked. It was just a good show.
Well, which is funny because now we have Marvel TV and Marvel movies in the same universe.
Boy,
it ain't working.
Yes, that's shocking. We all rejoiced when we said, yes, they'll be together. And I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV, John brought this one to my attention because we always talk about the streaming wars. So Max had grandfathered everyone in who had like the $15.99 tier to have the ad-free and 4K.
No.
And at the end of this month, that goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
What's Max going to cost with 4K?
Oh,
I'm just curious. What's the price?
$25.
$25.99 a month?
Is
that real?
No, I think it might be 20, but it's here. Let's see.
It's true. Ray said, while you're looking that up, Ray says Disney didn't want to touch R-rated material until Deadpool was successful. This is true. You're right.
$19.99 a month or $199 a year.
Well, I mean, they had Miramax do that for a long time. Touch their R-rated material.
And Touchstone before that. Disney
and Touchstone, yeah.
Disney.
But we're at like so Max, if you have a 4K TV and you want to get 4K, that's $20 a month.
That's expensive.
You get 2 or 3 more streaming services, and you are right up there with any cable bill.
Telling you, man, they're not going to work.
No,
they're pricing themselves out of this.
Well, okay, so like I was under I heard maybe from you guys maybe the combination of like TV only works with ads because if you have TV, then you have ads, and then ads make money, and the TV can keep going, but I don't want to watch any ads. I don't want to watch anything. I want to watch it the highest quality possible. Well, fine. Then you have to pay for what the ads are going to pay us anyway. So it's like price yourself out of having no ads and you push yourself towards having just regular TV with ads and a lower quality.
But this is the thing. This is, no, you don't have to have lower quality. It just, streamers have to, there has to be different rules for streaming. Right. And we haven't figured out what that is. We established and a lot of it too is government interference. The government established what is acceptable for television and what isn't. Right. Yeah. And so, and then with cable, there's always been a bigger swing with cable and what certain stations will allow, what certain stations won't. Right. And it all depends on the advertiser. But that's the truth. I mean, TV's expensive. Yeah. And that's the problem we're seeing with streaming is there's just not
$5 million an episode.
It's not. Yeah, there you go. It's just not. It's not working the way they thought it was.
No.
Right. So you're gonna have to. Everything's gonna have to have ads to support it. Because who's gonna? $20 for. People say, well, if you want it bad enough, you're gonna pay for it. Are you?
I told you that it worked for Netflix. It worked for Netflix
because they
when
were the
everybody
first
was
on the
putting their
block.
stuff on there. When everybody's putting everything on Netflix, then it worked. But it's not going to work. Like I told you that I can't. I'm not getting Paramount Plus, even though I have almost every other streaming service, and only because I work for Comcast, which gives me like Comcast stuff at like $30 a month. So I can buy the other streaming services. But the thing is, like for Paramount, I'm never going to.
There isn't a revenue.
Yeah, I'm never going to get their streaming service. So I've got Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. I'm buying them on Blu-ray. so I can watch them anytime I want. And I don't have to worry about, maybe paying for 5 or 6 months when I don't watch anything.
It's
until
funny,
they stop making Blu-rays.
I'm about to say, it's funny. We talked about that last week where they keep talking about and stop making it. And then we said it might become like a boutique type item.
Right.
But I also kind of feel like, no, John's pointing something out too. There are people that just don't get the service, and that there's one show on there and they want to watch. They'll go buy the Blu-ray after the show airs.
Yeah,
right?
until they figure out that's going to happen and they're going to stop doing it. I mean, it's cyclical. These things all move in cycles.
And then the bootleggers will come in and make the DVDs for them.
And that's what happens. The bootleggers come in and the studios go, well, we should be making them. That's how this all works.
Yeah.
Netflix was a success. Hulu was a success. All this is making money off our stuff. That's bullshit in this. And now rated revenue. What's the calculated revenue from the streaming? There is no revenue. Everything is deficit spending.
Right.
Everything is deficit spending. No one's making money off streaming except Netflix. Everyone. Disney, Hulu, Peacock, Paramount Plus, they're all Max. Everyone's losing money.
Right, exactly.
For the future. It's
the
madness.
It's the same cycle, right? Because it's like, oh, they're bootlegging our stuff, so they do stuff to stop it. So then it's like, oh, Netflix is making money off our stuff. We don't want them to do that. We're going to start our own streaming. And they screw themselves. Like, that's the companies keep screwing themselves with people watching stuff at home, basically.
You made money by selling, right? That's how the business always worked. You had production companies and you had distributors. The production companies made stuff to sell to the distributors. The distributors released stuff when they had ads or different ways they can make money. Now, the distributor, and this is like Marvel in the 90s, right? Marvel wanted to be both the company and the distributor, and they almost went out of business. It doesn't work. It's never worked. They're different businesses, and we're in this right now. It's going to be like UFC. Endeavor paid a ton of money for UFC, and they had to merge with WWE to form a new company just to get all the debt off the books. Because there was an enormous amount of debt, billions of dollars in debt. Like, this is where we're at with everything. There's so much debt with these companies.
Speaking of things being secular, did you hear that Netflix is going to start having physical stores?
Now we have come full circle.
Oh my God.
We can
come by and rent a Netflix movie now.
That is, no, I have not heard that. That is fucking epic.
Didn't Amazon try that and it's kind of failed?
So the idea with the Netflix stores is going to be, they're going to have merchandise related to the shows.
Okay.
Some of the shows available on like Blu-ray and DVD to buy.
So you're talking Suncoast Video.
I was just
and then they were going to have interactive experiences related to whatever the big thing on Netflix at the time is.
So I can get attacked by demo
Blockbuster.
That's what it sounds like. It's not, honestly, John's right. It sounds like Suncoast Video.
Yeah.
Which I loved as a kid, by the way. So I'm totally
Me too.
That.
Yeah.
Rape It Races won't be long until they delay physical media to force subscriptions. No, that's what's going to happen.
No, then
that's
Netflix builds their own Blockbuster, and you have to go and buy the Blu-ray.
Well, they're saying the first Netflix stores will be open next year.
Where are they going to put them?
I don't
know.
No
one shops like
wherever they put Spirit Halloweens.
That's true. That is true. The millions of dude, they're still building shopping centers. I'm like, there's so many vacant stores. Why are we building more shopping? It's freaking unbelievable. But no, they're going to stop. You're right, Ray. They're going to stop making physical media to force the subscriptions. The bootleggers will come in and start selling DVDs, Blu-rays of the favorite show, and then they're going to go, why are we not making this money? We'll put out DVD. I mean, like, it's cyclical, man. It's cyclical. You can see it coming.
And then Netflix goes, maybe we should have stores.
That's to be fair, though, they're always ahead of the curve, so maybe they're right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Netflix, and I talk about everyone being in deficit spending, I take it back. Netflix is not deficit spending. Netflix is making money.
And they think this is a market. I mean, so we'll see.
I mean, I'm curious. I don't know. Depends on how many stores you want to open. If you're going to try to open 1 million stores across the world, I don't know. Kassan says I
think he's speechless at the idea of Netflix opening physical stores.
He goes, Kassan said I.
Kassan's gone full pirate.
Hey, Pit Races, my people will thrive again. Yar, me matey.
matey.
Yeah, we got to have a conversation. I need to know some things because I hate professional wrestling now, and I'm not giving them my money anymore. So I need to talk to you. Everything sucks. This has been the worst year for popular culture. 2023 is the year I went, everything I watch is god-awful terrible.
Wait. Here's his full statement.
There we go. Kassan's whole thing. Kassan says, I'm sure Netflix saw how much their IP-related merchandise sells and thought they could sell it directly. Yeah, 100%. Usually used to do that. Usually used to do it with catalogs or like direct market advertising. The fact that they're going back to brick and mortar in an era where not everyone, but a lot of people are fleeing brick and mortar.
It probably makes more sense for them to send catalogs to anyone who's subscribed to Netflix. That probably makes a lot more sense than to build stores.
Amazon has a catalog. My kid was looking
I know.
through the Amazon
I just
catalog.
got one the other day.
It reminded me of when I was a kid. My mom worked at JCPenney, and we always got the JCPenney Christmas catalog. And you went and looked at the toys. What was the cool toy that year?
Like an Amazon holiday thing. Yeah,
I saw that, and like it warmed my heart.
Yeah, kind of funny thing. As far as the anime side of stuff, Crunchyroll and the rest, they sell a lot of merchandise through the stores along with the streaming service and packaged box sets and stuff.
That makes perfect sense for anime because anime is carved out right for merchandising stuff. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
8 billion fans can't be wrong.
That's
more
trillion,
fans than on the
Dave.
planet.
Trillion, come on.
That makes sense.
All right. Here's something else to make JD mad.
Oh, great.
Here we go.
Now, this is just a rumor, but apparently, like, everyone who's been asked about this hasn't denied it. Taylor Swift to be Dazzler in Deadpool 3.
I have zero qualm with that. Taylor Swift rules.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm fine. I have zero problem with that whatsoever. Taylor Swift is awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it, except Ryan Reynolds
would probably
is involved, and he could get her to do that. Yeah,
he could. I think they're actually friends. He could make that happen. Hassan says if go play.
I'm gonna put it back up.
Hassan says if they do the Amazon contract, they'll take the physical stores as mini warehouses and ship them directly from there with reduced shipping costs. Good.
Yeah,
it could. It's different. It's just different than the way that our economy's been working these past decade. It could work. Hassan also says I wouldn't be surprised if the Netflix stores are larger than 3,000 square feet. Someone needs to break down to the idiot how big 3,000 square feet.
That's a large store.
That is a very large store.
Oh, yeah. I would be surprised if they go anywhere near that big. I was thinking they'd be like a Suncoast, right? Like a
No, the 3,000 square feet is like half a Walmart. That's a.
Oh no, they definitely won't do that. It'll be the size of a comic book store.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Don't keep it cheap.
I think I mean, it's funny because like I saw articles and they were comparing the rumor with Taylor Swift to what's his face,
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles being in the Eternals. Well, I mean, two things with that. Like they're setting him up to be a character, but then again, no one cares about the Eternals, so I don't know if we'll ever see him again.
This is true.
But I think Taylor Swift being Dazzler in this movie is going to be like a one-off joke.
Yeah,
and then she'll end up getting killed or something. Yeah.
Has she ever acted before? I'm not even sure. Has
Yep.
Taylor
She did an episode in The New Girl, and I think she showed up in another like episode of House or something like that. Like she's like does cameos every once in a while.
I think it'd be great. And you know how many people will go see the movie just because of that cameo?
God.
Yeah.
Have you seen how many are going to see the was it the show?
We talked about it last week, the documentary.
She's making bank.
Hey, dude, the girls in my classes, they love Taylor. They just talk about Taylor Swift all the time. They're like, Mr. Lee, what's your opinion on Taylor Swift? And I'm like, I don't want to cross these people. I'm like, she's
fine. She's fine. Put the knife down.
Yeah, I got no problem. Can we have Taylor Swift Day? Sure, we can listen to
Sure,
Taylor
whatever
Swift.
you want. Just put
Not a
the
problem.
gun down.
Yeah, that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, put the gun down. I'm okay. We can listen
Taylor
to
Swift.
whatever you want.
Oh my god.
I wish I could say that was a joke, but we have to have Taylor Swift Day because I play Spotify. In class.
I don't think they need Taylor Swift so for people to go see this movie. Like
it will help.
Oh yeah,
it's a great gag to be honest with you. Because who else could play? Like it's either her or Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga is going to do the Joker movie.
Yep,
I think it's great.
And they need this to make bank to make up for some of the other crap that they've put out.
A lot of weight lighting on the Deadpool shoulders right now.
Yeah, you don't want that. Like they don't want to become
Apparently,
the
this
next
supposed-
Warner
the, like
Brothers.
Deadpool
right?
movie is supposed to be the last one before Secret Wars.
God.
Like that's the it goes Deadpool then Secret Wars.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense from what Deadpool looks like it's going to be too. So
Maybe Deadpool creates the sequel. Like he's the cause of it. You know?
Yeah, he's supposed to be gathering all the best of the primes. So that,
like the Spider-Man Secret Wars
Right.
episode.
yeah. All right.
John
We
checked
got-
out of the show. Turn off his microphone.
it's like
No, I'm coughing too. So
Oh, everybody's got it. It's that time of year.
All
just a
right.
little bit of the bubons.
All right. We're going to talk about this this article from Variety
That we
in more
hinted at
detail.
all show.
But I think we should take just a real quick break before we dive into this.
Hey, Spidey, isn't Marvel's new Pizzazz magazine fantastic? Fantastic, but not perfect. But Pizzazz has the lowdown on Jaws, too, and more Sean Cassidy picks than his mother. It's sensational. Sensational, but not perfect. How about Pizzazz's Goofy Guide to TV? It's wild look at sci-fi movies. It's games, puzzles, comics. What could be more perfect? Me on the cover. Not the Hulk. Pizzazz, the almost perfect new monthly from the off-the-wall gang at Marvel Comics.
He's got more pictures of Sean Cassidy than your mom.
No, that's for your mom. That's
Every time I hear that, that's what I think. And it looks like the Hulk is giving Sean Cassidy the business. He's holding onto his shoulders and hulking up.
All right. So the powers that be over at Marvel Studios had a summit in Florida to talk about the current condition of the MCU, as it were, and nothing has come out officially yet. But there are a lot of rumors that Variety.
So this isn't JD just bitching. Like the company is actually trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So like, this
Like
is the thing.
so we talked about the one thing. Like there's one of the ideas that was floated is bringing back RDJ and ScarJo, but like, does that hurt their legacy in the MCU? Well, I mean, again, Scarlett Johansson, I don't think so. It's more Robert Downey Jr. sacrificing himself for the world or the universe.
She sacrificed herself too, but the problem
Threw
is
herself off
they
a
made a
cliff.
movie. They made a movie after that with her.
Yeah,
Like
that's
her movie
true.
came out, so we've already crossed that Rubicon.
Which was stupid because I mean, like
Yes,
if
movie
they'd
was
done it right, that was one of their first missteps. Was basically waiting to put a single movie out for her,
Yeah.
waiting till after she died. I mean, like,
And then the movie
That was
wasn't that good.
That might be one of their biggest missteps at all, for the first 3 phases. The other thing that came out that did shock me, you pointed this out on JD on Facebook when you tagged me, because it's in the headline of that article, was that some of the episodes of She-Hulk was 25 million. So I mean, if each episode was 25 million and 9 episodes, that's what, 200 and
Let's not say that. They said a
225 million.
couple of. They said 1 or 2 is that. So let's round it down. Let's say every episode was 18 million, 16 million. Right? Let's play that. Say every episode was 16 million. Right? It's still outrageous.
You're still talking like
Yeah.
the cost of one of their movies,
Right.
and the idea of doing TV is supposed to be cheaper. So like, if you're going to do that, just make a movie, right?
Movie. Because like I said, the subscription thing isn't working. And again, with a movie, you go to see the movie, that money goes to that movie. You stream a thing, and then you watch another thing. It's not like that dollar is spread out the same way. You
Right.
know? Like the opportunity for, like, I swear to God, these people did not do math when they were figuring out how to make these streaming services work.
I said that when we talked about it
You
last
did.
week, where there's some guy in the accounting department said, "Hey, you know what? This really doesn't add up to what you think it's going to be," and that guy probably got fired.
Well, that's too the part of
Yeah.
the SAG strike. SAG, they're dragging their feet now, and they want revenue from the streaming, and they're hiding the fact that there is no revenue.
Right.
Like, this is a total Wizard of Oz situation here. Do not look at the man behind the curtain, because the emperor has no clothes, and what other cliche I can throw at this fucking people? There's no money.
Yeah, and then the other thing, we've danced around this a little bit this episode, is Jonathan Majors has some has some legal issues still going on.
Some issues, yes.
We won't get it allegedly because there have been some weird details that have also come out.
It's a weird situation overall, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think he's totally innocent, but I don't know, man. There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack with that.
It's kind of Ezra Miller, isn't it?
Because that's the other thing. I'm confused.
No,
it's different. Ezra's very, very clearly
terrorist.
Ezra's very clearly nuts.
Right. The woman that accused Jonathan Majors apparently has been arrested since this, because she was causing a disturbance somewhere else, and so the lawyers tried to get the case thrown out, and the judge wouldn't throw it out. So, anyway, regardless of that, right? There's a whole what are they going to do going forward? And Kevin Feige said the rumor is they said one of two things. They could recast Jonathan Majors, have someone else play Kang, which that makes the most sense to me. The other option is totally scrap Kang and replace the main villain as Doctor Doom. What do we think?
It would be better to recast him.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be easy considering the multiversal aspect of this whole thing.
And you'd have to rewrite everything, every idea that you have to go into this new phase, right?
Because but they don't want, if they decide to go the Doom route, they would have to rush Doom out, and you don't want to do that either. I mean,
my buddy called that about a year ago. Whenever this Jonathan Majors thing started, he's like, they're going to put Doom in. They're going to bring in Doom. Jeremy, I don't know if he's listening or not. And I went, that's ridiculous. They're not going to do that. And it turns out the races, they need to pivot to Doom to be done with it. I don't think you need to pivot to Doom. The reason why you would do that is because, quite frankly, Dr. Doom's a much better villain to be leading this whole thing than Kang. Kang is kind of a villain to begin with. So the fact
he is, but they tried to build him up to be this he's more powerful than anything.
Yeah, he got beat by ants. I got nothing for you on that. I mean, let's be real. It makes far more sense to recast him. Zahn says Kang is a lame duck villain. They devalued his threat by showing him defeated in Ant-Man by ants. Secondly, they devalued the stakes by making an infinite amount of them. That's true. I agree with that. That hasn't been talked about. I think this whole Council of Kangs thing they take something away from the character, because it's not the character himself that's a threat. It's the multitude of them, and then you don't have an individual. Right?
And I agree. They're trying.
I agree.
I agree, but I feel like when they wrote this, they felt it was the opposite. They thought the idea of this multi-universe war that's launched by Kang is a bigger threat to existence than what Thanos was.
And I don't think they realized how played out a multiverse would be by the time we got here.
Yeah.
Because the DC's done it everywhere, everything all at once did it. I think I speak for pop culture when I say we're kind of multiversed out.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse. They're actually good.
I didn't tell you guys. I watched was it not Justice League? Well, yeah, it was Justice League.
Warworld.
Shoot, what was it? Warworld, right? It's the new continuity for DC animation, and Warworld, they're only 3 into it. Three animated movies into it, and the Warworld. Okay, spoilers, guys. Skip ahead a minute or two. Warworld ends with them starting off with DC's Armageddon storyline from the 1990s. The Armageddon storyline.
Okay.
Fine. What?
Armageddon was another one of those.
I know which one was that though.
It was so good that you guys have no idea what I'm talking.
Was Armageddon the one where Hawk turns evil?
It was with Hal Jordan finally turned into, I guess,
Parallax.
whatever the main villain was with that.
That was Parallax. It was 0 Hour.
No, he was also the bad guy, and I'm sure he was the bad guy. I should have looked it up before, but the thing is, again, they're going back to another
Monarch,
another multiversal issue, right? They're only three animated movies into this
That was
new
hyper
continuity.
That was hyper time, sir. It wasn't a multiverse. It was hyper time.
Hyper time.
Hyper time moves like a river. See, okay, I can describe hyper time. Hyper time moves like a river and it fractures off, and you have different variations of it. That was what it was, man. That was the 90s. So they got to, because remember in the 90s they made a conscientious effort to getting away from multiverse stuff in DC.
That's funny. That's how they explain time travel in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, comics, man. War World on Max is pretty badass. I loved it. Oh, maybe I'll just check it out. That's actually a good call. My wife actually called all of our streaming services. She got it down to Disney and Hulu. Actually,
nice.
We don't have Max at the moment. We picked up Paramount for Frasier. By the way, the new Frasier is really good. I highly recommend it.
Oh, really?
I should say that for the end of the show. Actually, withdraw. Let's talk more about this stuff.
Let's talk more about.
We want to talk about bad stuff. Not
I was
good stuff.
happy for a second. I'm sorry. I'll get mad again.
It's really nice.
The other
A life raft in our conversation.
I mean, this okay. Actually, let me do this before we do anything else. I am going to put in the comments or in the chat
for a good time call.
This is the link to the Variety article. There's a lot of good details.
You should put in the show notes too when you put the podcast up.
Okay. There's a lot of good details in here. One of the things they also talk about is, we talked about this, where Ali, who's playing Blade, was ready to walk away from the production. So they fired the writer, and they've hired was it the guy who did Logan, or was it the guy who did Punisher, who's writing
Punisher.
the new Punisher, writing the new Blade movie now, to keep him happy, so he would stay, because the Blade movie was supposed to be out already.
Because they casted an Oscar winner to play one of your seminal characters, who actually launched the entire wave of new comic movies, and you decided to relegate him to fourth most character behind three female characters, none of whom I can even think of off the top of my head, to be quite frank.
And they said it was like a life lesson movie.
That's what I want with Vampire Story.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I want. What the fuck are we doing, Kevin? Jesus Christ!
Come on, Kevin!
No, I'm serious.
He's doing too much.
This should be the easiest one to do. Fucking Blade kills vampires. That's all you need. Why? Why? This is like the same thing they did with Blade Trinity. Is they brought all these other people in because they were trying to get Wesley Snipes out, right? And they did it again. We didn't even get one Mahershala Ali's Blade movie. We got to like whittle him down already. God, what are we doing? Fucking idiots.
Ray.
Pander. Am I pandering? I feel like I'm just being angry.
No, he's
Ray's
talking
just mad
about
that women work. That's all it is. Go back to the kitchen where you belong.
I just want Blade killing vampires again. Why? That's not so much to ask.
He doesn't think women should have the right to vote. Right.
I'm not going to touch any of this with
Oh, I know what you're thinking.
I do good enough job getting myself in trouble.
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
Really?
That's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing now.
It's going to be a thing.
It's going to be a thing on this show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad he implemented it when I showed up. All right, yeah.
It was like shocking. I'm like, what the fuck did Dave do? How did this? What? Now it makes sense. But that's stupid.
Yeah. And then what was the other one they talked about in this article? Shoot. Oh yeah, and then they also mentioned the Daredevil, how they fired the writers for that
because they weren't running it like TV.
Yeah,
they were just having writers write really long movies that weren't edited.
That's it.
Yeah, and I got to say that again, you're not watching it, but Loki does feel more like an episodic TV show than a 6-hour movie.
Well, I'm glad someone understood the assignment. WandaVision did. WandaVision didn't feel like a long movie. WandaVision actually had like broken up, and it was like every episode had its own like contained story. Ray says, if I'm not going to read that, actually.
Ray says that if they're in the kitchen, who's going to clean the rest of the house?
Okay, that's no.
We don't do that around here. Kazan says this show doesn't like to admit it. What? But Marvel has been kneecapping male characters and replacing them with female characters for a long time. Have they? I feel like we would have pointed that out if we felt that way. I don't know if I felt
No, I don't see that.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. They did it in the comics. Not when
comics done it. To be fair,
comics have done it, and they're kind of just following what the comics did.
I mean,
in a lot of ways.
Gene, okay, like
Riri Williams coming in as Ironheart.
But Jane Foster died. Like in the comics,
Yeah.
they drew that out for a few years. In the movie, you get one, lame ass Thor movie where she kind of just plays a side role, and they never tease the fact that she's the new Thor. She's another Thor, and by the way, she's dead. Like in the comics, they drew that out for a little bit. Like it's different.
I'm surprised you guys even watched Hawkeye. What?
I didn't.
Well, and the thing is,
Watch one
like, I watched Hawkeye, and it was like I didn't feel like what's her name?
Haley Steinfeld.
Same person.
Haley Steinfeld.
I didn't feel like she was replacing Hawkeye. It felt like she was just another character with those powers. They don't even call her Hawkeye at all in the show.
Yeah.
You know,
She isn't. I mean, in the comic, there's always two. That comic has always been about two Hawkeyes. So that
yeah, exactly. Like, so yeah, I don't think that's a fair.
No, we won't admit it on the show. How about that?
I mean, like Captain Marvel. I mean, let's be real. Like the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel was way more popular and successful than Marvel ever was.
Yeah.
And I love the death of Captain Marvel. That's a great graphic novel, but it was written the year I was born, and I'm look at all this gray hair in my beard. Like,
oh my
it's an old comic. Like, she's far more successful.
I mean, and we still have Spidey, Ant-Man,
Captain America,
Thor.
Despite
Like
his hatred of Spider-Gwen.
But I'm saying, like, we still have a lot of male characters left. I don't know, like,
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know if this show won't admit that. Actually, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about gender swap. Kazan says I'm not talking about gender swapping. I'm talking about bringing down male characters to elevate female characters. No, I don't know if I agree with that either.
Yeah,
am I?
Show your work. Show your work. Pick
Show your
one.
work.
Pick one.
Travis Mitchell, how's everyone doing? Love West Coast Avengers background. Love the Iron Man suit in the comics. Thanks for joining us, Travis. I'm not familiar with your being on before. Appreciate you dropping some love. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hulk and She-Hulk is evidence of this.
What?
But they explain that. Like she even says, it doesn't make any sense for him to show up at the end and like hero save her all the time.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
She literally explains this whole set. Like,
and they're pre-existing characters too.
It was her show. Like, yeah, I don't get it. Like a lot of people complained about that, but it's like, but the show was called She-Hulk. It wasn't called.
She's going to be the hero of her. If we can't be the hero of our own story, what are we?
Right.
Yeah.
Hawkeye was dumb and weak, though. I didn't watch the whole show. I can't speak to that.
Like dumb because he didn't want to kill everyone, just kill a few people, or like, or like he wanted to stop killing and like be a good dad and like go back to have Christmas with his kids. Like that was his whole arc. That's all he wanted in life, was just to stop this Ronin suit from getting out, and then
and help out the girl who
found
the Ronin
who happened to be
stuff
the greatest
and
archer in the world.
Yeah, and help the girl who suddenly became like the target of the bad guys because of
exactly.
Like,
I'm rage hauling this episode, but I'm not feeling that one, to be quite honest with you. He saved Christmas, much like the Grinch.
Yes. You know what I've been thinking about actually with the shows? Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Right. I enjoyed the show, but I think would have been a better show, in my opinion, is Sam rejecting the shield in the beginning like he did, Bucky taking it up like he did in the comics, but at the end he realizes he can't be Cap, and it goes back to Sam. I think that would have been a better show.
I would
like he already got that message like beforehand, right? Like he wasn't going to be Cap. He can't live up to Cap's memory, or even like, and like he even tells Sam in the shows like, Cap picked you because he felt you were worthy, and if you don't think you're worthy enough,
I guess
this is what Captain America says.
It goes
what
back.
The fuck am I supposed to do with it?
It goes back to my weirdness about Cap in the fact that, like, in the comics, when they made Bucky Cap, that pissed me off because I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Sam is his best friend in the comics. Why the hell are they giving it to Bucky, someone who hasn't been around, they just brought back and all of a sudden made him Captain America? And then it was the reverse in the shows because they made it like so about him and Bucky in the movies, and
That's
then all
true.
of a sudden, and Sam was just like,
that's a good point.
And all of a sudden it was like they skipped over Bucky and said, "Oh no, we're just giving it to Sam," and it was just like, no. You got it wrong in both places.
Well, Bucky never thought he was worthy of the shield because of all the death and carnage
and that's the same in the comic. The comic is the same way. In the comic, you get a lot of that's a great
Doesn't
run.
Cap kill people too? I mean,
Cap does kill people. Cap ain't Superman. Like, I don't we
he ain't
sugarcoat
Superman.
that. Brubaker's got him mowing down some dudes with some machine guns. That's actually a good story. And the whole point of the Bucky Cap run in the comics is that Bucky can't be Captain America.
Right.
But that's the whole point of that comic strip, is that nobody can be Captain America but Steve Rogers.
And that was the other reason why, like, Sam never takes the serum either, because it's like, as Zemo points out, the serum brings out the worst or the best in you, and it's like, but you're already the best, so why do you even need the serum? Like, it's all
right. But yeah, all I said is, like, I just felt like they got it backwards in both. Like, but like I would have accepted. I accept Sam being Cap, but would have accepted it they didn't skip over Bucky altogether in the shows. Just. I don't know. It's one of my favorite characters from the comics. That's why it pissed me off.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I ain't gonna argue with that.
Of all the things I hate about Marvel, that's low on my list, to be honest with you. What happened with Isaiah Bradley, right? And his nephew very clearly is going to be a super soldier. What? That's a dangling plot thread.
Yeah,
it's a lot of dangling plot threads.
Scar is another dangling plot thread. What happened to Scar? It's like, the last 5 seconds. Oh, look, Scar. Goodbye.
Where's Billy and Tommy? They have to exist somewhere in the multiverse.
True. Yeah, but now she's
goddamn
dead.
Young Avengers. God damn it. You've set all of them up. Just fucking do the show. You're doing all these stupid shows.
Before all the kids are too old.
Set up the champions, and they got to set up the...
Fucking Echo.
Travis has a good point here. He says, I don't think it's lower male characters to elevate female ones. Rather, making characters like Hulk, Thor, and Daredevil overly silly and introducing stone-faced female characters.
All right,
which
so
I do feel like they've...
Wait,
Captain Marvel and She-Hulk.
She-Hulk was stone-faced?
No, not She-Hulk. But I do think they
Captain
did that
Marvel
with Captain Marvel.
Can I just say that the first introduction to Ego was in Thor, a planet-talking villain? So, that's a silly character in a Thor comic. Thor has always been silly. That we just thought he was serious because the Avengers made him serious.
Need I remind you of one Thor frog?
Right.
Yeah.
Frog, yeah. Mm-hmm. And a Loki gator.
There was a Loki. That was in the
Hulk
comics.
was like wearing a suit, like a button-down suit, and he was a gangster at one point.
I wouldn't call the She-Hulk, like the character in the comics.
You're right.
Interpretation stone-faced.
But
Captain Marvel, sure, yeah, she's pretty stone-faced.
Yeah. So
Kamala Khan, not stone-faced at all.
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
All right,
he's the best of us.
Refreshingly light.
So
I did like Kamala Khan, actually.
I think to wrap this up, try to put a bow on it. I feel like the summit is probably a good thing because it does sound like they are listening to their fans. They are looking at the returns on the movies, and they're like, yeah, we're not doing as good, so we have to right the ship. The question is, are they going to write it the right way? Wow, that sounds.
You remember at the end of Multiverse of Madness where Strange, the evil eye shows up in Strange, and he like screams like total Raimi style, and we cut to black, and then for some reason we have a button on there with Klee that goes nowhere that like shows oh he learned to deal with this already, so we don't have a movie where he's trying to deal with this evil power that he has. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Look,
that lowers the male character right there.
Here's Charlize. Like, I don't know if the woman lowers it, but just like they lowered it on their own because you had this awesome horror ending, right? That you could have been like, ooh, and then it's no, okay, cool.
This is fair.
Cool.
It's interesting that this thing about the female characters is still such a thing, though. You know, like
I don't know. It doesn't.
Like it's a real discussion in a lot of the spheres of the fandom.
There is
it's just those guys have never actually seen boobs before in real life, and they just don't know how to deal with that.
You're not wrong.
Travis is
inaccurate.
Travis is not an insult to female characters, but Captain Marvel, Photon, Valkyrie, Gaia, Elena, Echo are all serious to the point where it feels condescending toward the charismatic characters.
He's not wrong.
No, I can't argue that. Actually, that's actually a good point.
I have that list.
All right, I'm gonna say something.
Think about that.
I might have to censor myself.
I would push the button, but you have nothing written.
Exactly.
You have the power of the censorship.
Well, I'm looking at this, and this is written in the language only Dave can decipher.
Yeah, go ahead.
So right, so he's laughing.
So here's a quick take, right? The issue with male versus female characters, in the sense of historically, the majority of people that superheroes appeal to are men, right? Because it's escapism. It's you picture yourself as the hero. Where I don't think as many women picture themselves as heroes. So this idea of
we don't know that. As men, we fundamentally don't know that.
Yeah, we're wading into some thick territory that maybe we aren't qualified to talk about. I think if we're going to bring that point up, we should have a female that could counterbalance that. You know,
I would agree. I would definitely agree.
Like, I think that's an assumption. But I think that's
they're invading the show too.
No, hold on. I'm not.
Let's be honest. There's no women that want to be on
this
show. No, but I think that's
already. It's me.
I think that Dave's assumption is an assumption shared by a lot of men. And I did notice that like Travis brings a good point, is all of those are serious characters used to play off of more charismatic. And Daredevil in particular does not come off like Charlie Cox's typical Daredevil in that particular scene in She-Hulk. Right? It's played for laughs, but to be fair, like that's kind of the way the comic always plays out. So I can let that one slide. Frosties are just trying too hard just to make good movies. Stop trying to please everyone. That's a lot of truth. Y'all tripping. We all know men, boys drive the comic industry. They do, but you gotta. I hear this a lot in wrestling too. Is that like the idea is to appeal to half of the population of the world?
Yeah,
more because the idea is you can make more money if girls like it too. Defended Rey from Star Wars. People saying she isn't developed like Luke was, which is true. But when most people are saying that she didn't get her hand cut off, but in reality is if a girl got her, I assume there's a second
hand
part
cut
of
off the screen.
Hand cut off the screen. It's not fun. It's upsetting. It's built-in bias that we all have the natural protector instinct. Maybe there might be something to that. I don't know if I agree necessarily. I think that Rey, the Rey character is, and we could say this in retrospect because we saw 3 of her movies. We saw her arc play out. She does not have the same character arc as Luke. I don't like calling her Mary Sue, but
she's instantly good with the Force.
Yeah, she doesn't have this, but so is Luke. I mean, Luke blew up the Death Star. I mean, so if you're good at the Force, you're good at the Force. That's what makes you a Jedi. But she doesn't have the struggles, right? Like we don't feel Rey's struggle like we felt Luke's, and that comes down to the lack of cohesion in storytelling.
Right. I don't think it's a Mary Sue thing either. I just don't think she's as well as developed as a character.
No, she's not, because again, the lack of cohesion between the 3 movies. But it's not just her. There's a lack of cohesion in every single character in those movies that doesn't get developed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just Rey. It's everyone in those movies, except for Ben Solo, who gets overdeveloped in 6 different directions because nobody can be sure what they want to do with him. So he gets the most character development, and none of it works in line with itself. So I mean, like that's a different conversation for a different day. I do think there is a penchant in popular culture to make more women heroes stick, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's I would like to see some of these female characters play off a little bit more charismatic. I get that argument, actually.
Travis makes a great point, and it goes down to like evolutionary biology. There is a thing in men to protect women, so like not the idea that they're rejecting a woman who can be a hero, but like there's a weirdness of like not getting, they don't go through as much because of the protector instinct.
Well, to be fair too, is like, how does that play off if are there articles on violence against women if Rey does get her hand cut off or something like that? I don't know. So
yeah,
maybe there is something to that. I don't know. I have no idea. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Randy, what do you think, man? You chuckled there.
No, I was thinking about like just the violence against women part.
I know, is that a thing? Is that a real thing? Does that happen though? Because I see it in wrestling all the time. Like when I'm covering wrestling stuff, like people bring that stuff up constantly in a vehicle that's based purely on violence.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting to me. Like, I don't know, man. Am I, and if I'm off, I'll gladly take the L if I'm off on this, because I'm just pontificating.
No, I mean, I feel like everyone's gonna find fault somewhere, even if you're trying to run down this road one way or the other. It's gonna be like, well, either we're trying to protect the women or we're trying to give them their own space, and it's like, yeah, and we can't do both, and we can't find a way to make these roads converge into one. So it's like, I don't know, just because the way we like to put things in boxes, I guess.
We do like to put things in boxes.
I think this is a discussion better had if we had a woman panelist on.
Man, if we
to keep us honest.
We need the speaker of women to come down.
Yes, we need the one representative
of all females. Dave, go get your girlfriend.
For real though, for real, if there's a woman listening that would like to voice an opinion, please reach out to Dave. I would love to hear that side of the conversation, because this show is very dick dominated. So, a lot of Wang represented.
It's not wrong.
I had a really bad joke. I'm not going to make it.
What?
And it
got even more so with me.
Which of your gibberish is the Chadwick Boseman quote, so I can click on it just in case?
It is it is the WDDTH.
Okay, see what I'm saying?
We don't do that here. It's
I know that only makes sense to Dave. But now we
all right. So my joke was, Wang. Wait, when did we all become Chinese?
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
Sorry, Dave.
Dave, press the button. Press the button on that clip, please, because you just.
I just did.
Okay.
I just did press the button on the clip.
Oh my goodness! Where are you? You're not even paying attention.
No, I was.
I did push the button.
Okay, good. You might want to wrap this up.
Yeah, let's stick
all right.
this thing.
That's been forked. All right.
Oh, we brought it back to the beginning.
Oh,
awesome!
It's
full circle, man. Full
too
circle.
bad we can't name the shows ex post facto anymore, because that would have been a good episode title. But oh well.
Stick a fork in it. It's done.
Yes.
All right. Well,
a different direction than I was expecting.
Let's we hope the best for Marvel going forward.
I don't fuck them.
No, give me your money.
I would like them to maybe write the ship myself, because I enjoy their stuff.
Travis,
or I did enjoy their stuff.
Travis says Captain Marvel has to be essentially immortal, knowing a mortal died from her failure. I think there's a story to tell there. I do too. Yeah. I think that I question if whether bringing all of them together is the right move for a sequel. Won't know till next week.
Yeah. All right.
Well, having her see Monica Rambeau all grown up and she hasn't aged at all, that's got to bring up some questions in her head.
Yeah, it must make her feel great. Look at this kid. I look the same. I'm still
yeah.
hot.
All right.
That's what I'd say.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Let's go around the room. And, of course, the question we ask every week, did you learn something this week? Or do you have any recommendations? And, of course, you can go first, Randy.
Oh, okay, sure. Let's see. What did I learn? I learned that. Nope, I didn't learn a damn thing. My brain's all gone now. I didn't learn anything. I recommend you guys watch Loki. It is fun to watch so far.
No.
Yeah, it's fun.
And where can people find Cult 45.
Oh, right. Yeah, and if you guys want to hear more about like older movies that I talk about and basically just try to make dick jokes at, you can find us at Cult 45 Podcasts on all your major podcasting apps. Also, if you like us, we need to get, because we fell behind with our Patreon, so we need to watch some more newer stuff. Patreon.com/Cult45. Like I think the last one we did was Saw X and Ahsoka and The Exorcist Believer.
How was that?
So we watched the original Exorcist the same week, and then like we watched this one, and then I was like, I could have saved money by not going.
I was afraid of that.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, go with your gut.
Oh yeah. But
See you, Travis.
Oh yeah, Travis says.
And Kassan.
Oh, thanks for joining, man.
All right, JD.
I didn't learn a damn thing. Actually, that's not true. I did learn some stuff, but I need to cook on it. There's some interesting topics brought up today that I don't know what I think about them. I think recommendations. Like I said, Frasier. I love Frasier. I love Cheers. Frasier was a fantastic carryover. I just adore that character. And the new Frasier show on Paramount Plus is funny. It's very much in the spirit of the original show. It feels the same. It's got the same vibe to it. Like the writers clearly get it. They get what they're working with. So, I mean, my wife and I are both really enjoying it so far. And we don't get to watch a lot of TV, and we had fun. We were having fun watching it.
I'm glad to hear it because Frasier's one of my favorite shows.
I think you'll like it, Dave. I'd recommend it.
Okay. John.
Okay, so Justice League War World was pretty good. I liked it, though it's interesting how they're setting up, like I said, the DC Armageddon storyline. And the other thing was that also Justice League X Ruby Part 2 came out. That one is very well worth watching. Both Parts 1 and Part 2. They're two separate movies. They did if you are interested in the Ruby universe, or Justice League, or both, especially, it's a really fun ride. It's a really good storyline. So I would watch it if I were you.
Cool. All right. I learned that JD is very angry, very, very angry with Marvel.
I think I'm just frustrated with popular culture right now. Like the things that I like aren't making me enjoy stuff anymore. I think I need to read some more. I've been very busy with school. So I think that I'm just like not happy with my hobbies at the moment. Both Marvel and AEW are really like, they're not firing on all cylinders. So I don't have that outlet that of like, what do I enjoy? So that's like, it's disappointing. They're both bad at the same time.
So you've turned into that Mike Myers character from Saturday Night Live, middle-aged man.
I can program a VCR, but I remembered how to do that when I was 13. So, no, I just want stuff to be as good as it should be, right? I don't think that's too much to ask. Like I don't think because I want the things to be as good as they were, right? I don't want them to fall in quality for reasons that are not beyond their control. Both things, like I said, both things that I cover on these shows, and that's disappointing to me. So.
All right. Also, I recommend that if you're here right now and you are not subscribed, click that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live. And also when other things come up, I also recommend you go to superheroespeak.com where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media at the top of the page, comic reviews by our good friend Chris, and so much more. And I also recommend you go see the Marvels, because that's what we will be talking about next week on this very show. I have a feeling it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it should be fun.
So until then, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cake get caught in the door. Have a good week.